Welcome to Timeout with Coach Mike Miller. Coach Miller is the basketball coach with the most wins in LACC history, coaching his teams to a national record of 14 straight conference championships, breaking UCLA's old record of 13. Coach Miller is the first basketball coach in California basketball history to win a state championship at both the high school and college levels. Coach Miller has been honored as Coach of the Year 18 times and has produced almost 100 Division I players. For the next 2 hours, get ready for stats, facts, rants, and your opportunity to chat with one of the most successful basketball coaches in the entire country and his friends. Timeout with Coach Mike Miller.
Hey, we're live. Welcome to Timeout with Coach Miller. It's great to be back. It's great to be on the air, Scott. We have had a little vacation here.
Yep, a little bit of downtime.
I was traveling last week with our team out of state, playing some games, and then what happened? We had Chris in here with Ernest Baskerville from LaSalle High School and of the John R. Wooden Award. So they did a nice job filling in. You and I were gone.
Yep, it was nice to have a little time off, though.
There you go.
I'll have to go into iTunes and dig it up.
There you go. We are on iTunes, and it's exciting. Scott, tell people how they get it.
Go into iTunes, and you type in Timeout with Coach Miller, free subscription, so you just enter it in there, and then you can just catch up on all the past episodes and be hip to everything that's happening with Coach Miller and his friends.
Nice. I like it.
Yep.
Okay, we have a website. It's timeoutwithcoachmiller.com.
Okay.
And so they can go on there and check us out as well. And I'm excited to be in studio tonight. I've got a great lineup tonight. I'm excited to have an old friend, an old colleague, Coach John Bobich of the San Pedro High School Pirates. See, this is how I remember it's a pirate because Coach Brink told me when he said Pirates, he covered his eye.
Really?
Yeah.
So why do all the Pirates cover an eye? Like, were they all just bad fighters? Do they always just go for the eyes?
And they lose an eye in every fight?
Always eyes. Yeah. Eyes and limbs.
Yeah.
Like, you think a good pirate would have, both eyes, both arms, both legs.
Right.
Just a big kick-ass pirate.
Nice.
All his body parts.
Nice. I like that. So we've got Coach Bobich in. He has been the head coach at San Pedro High School. This is now his 14th year. We've got some of his players with us and some of his staff. We're excited to have them in studio. After they leave, our lineup is Mike Jones from DeMatha High School, the head coach, and Trey Dickerson, who is a outstanding junior college point guard he's from New York City, and he will be calling in. He's playing in North Dakota, of all places, Scott. And he is a national recruit. Iowa, Nebraska have offered him. UNLV's recruiting him.
How did he end up in North Dakota?
We're going to ask him that. Cincinnati's recruiting him.
Wow.
Oklahoma State's recruiting him. I mean, he's a national level point guard. Most of the JC people tell me that he's the top point guard in the country.
Wow. You'd think that he would end up in California, Texas, or Florida.
Yeah, right.
Someplace warm, someplace with something to do. But maybe he likes tall grass and, cow culture.
Okay, well, there you go. Anyway, we're excited to get this thing started. I've got Jeremy in the sound booth over here to my right. I've got Scott Schultz, my special guest co-host from Boston, to my left. And across from me, I've got our number one guest, Coach John Bobich. John, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mike.
We appreciate you coming in tonight. It's a tough loss you guys had tonight over at King Drew. I watched the game. I was there.
Yep, disappointing, but we'll bounce back Monday. We play Banning, rival, Monday at back at the home site.
Okay, you're at home for that game.
Correct.
Okay, what time is that?
7:00.
Nice. Well, if you want to see a good brand of basketball, you can go down to San Pedro High School Monday night at 7 and watch them play Banning, I might go to that because they play hard, Scott. They play hard, and they try to share the ball. They didn't share it as well tonight as I think Coach wanted them to, but they're making efforts to share the ball, which is rare nowadays in organized basketball.
Yeah, I brought them in the building earlier, so I actually knew they lost, before they even said anything. I could tell by looking at the coach's face.
You could tell.
Yeah, I can read I can read coach body language.
How do you
after all these years?
How do you know that? How can you read coach body language, Scott? After all these years,
yeah, it starts in the eyes.
Okay, starts in the eyes. Oh wow. Well, I'm excited to have Coach Bobic here. He's built a great program at San Pedro High School. They're in the city section, which is unusual because, they're so far away from the city, so far away from, really the city as people think about the city or even the valley. But you guys are a city section team, and you're in the Marine League. That's a good league. You've got, Washington High School, King Drew.
Narbonne. Carson. Banning. And who did I miss? And Gardena.
Okay, wow. Well, the coach at Gardena is an old colleague of mine, Ernie Carr. I coached against him for many years in junior college. I've seen them play this year. They're no match for the Pirates, I can tell you that.
We had them the other night, and we were successful, but we have to go over there to Gardena next 2 more weeks.
Okay. You drilled them pretty good?
By, I believe, 30 as the young men are sharing.
30?
Yeah.
Like you said, I've seen them play, and they're no match for the Pirates. So, Pirates got kind of their eye poked out tonight, though, down at King Drew. Let's start here with I'm gonna start with Khalil Dave and ask him what happened tonight. You're the senior point guard, right?
Correct.
You're a starter.
Yes.
You're a left-handed, kind of a crafty, quick guy.
Yeah.
And you're the second leading scorer on the team, almost 15 a game. Leader in assists, about 7 a game. So what happened? You're the lead. You're the coach on the floor. You're the extension of Coach Bobic on the floor. I know he's told you that before.
Yeah.
And I've seen his teams play. I've coached against him for many years. So I know that he expects a lot out of you. So what happened tonight?
I can just say the energy really wasn't there from defense to offense, as far as rebounding, getting back on defense. It just wasn't there tonight.
Why? Take him lightly?
Well, we beat them by 16 last time. I think we just got too comfortable and, just relaxed too much, and they just took advantage of it.
Yeah. Well, I saw the game tonight, Scott. I was privileged to be there, and I wanted to see you guys play in person. And you took a lead late in the game. Do you remember that moment?
Yeah.
I think you took a lead with Coach, about 2 minutes to go?
Just under 2 minutes.
Just under 2 minutes. I think that was your first lead, if I'm not mistaken, or certainly the first lead of the second half.
Definitely. It was 8-8 early. They jumped out. We got within 1 at halftime.
Right.
Then I believe that was the first lead.
And I thought, and I'm sitting there in the stands, and I thought, you know what? The better team is going to win. I believe you guys are the better team.
Yeah.
And I thought, they finally took the lead, and they're going to put this thing away. And what happened, Khalil Dave? Why didn't you put it away?
Just like I said, boxing out, it just seemed like they were more hyped up. They had a lot more energy than we had at that time.
Okay. But I buy that, especially early in the game. But when you took the lead, I thought, okay, well, now you guys, the cream is rising to the top. And I thought, you're gonna close it out. And I think at that point, you guys had a lot of energy too.
Yeah, I think we just kind of rushed through things a lot. Since we have the lead, we have an advantage, so we can kind of take things slower and, use the clock since it's on our side. But I think we just rushed through stuff.
Right. Okay. That's a fair assessment. We've got Brandon, and Brandon, you're going to help me with your last name again, please?
LaShaw.
LaShaw?
Yeah.
Okay, I got it now. Brandon LaShaw over here across from Scott. Brandon's a transfer into the school from Compton Centennial.
Correct.
So now you're playing for Coach Bobic, and tell me about that.
It's a learning experience. It's pretty cool, though. Coach Bobic's a cool coach.
Yeah, he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is. What have you been learning the most?
He helped with my footwork on my shot a lot. He tell me to just basically penetrate and do what I do. So Coach Bobbich, he just helped like smooth out my game basically.
Okay. What made you transfer to San Pedro?
Me and my dad, we moved out here from Compton to San Pedro.
Okay. So family move then kind of, and I mean, it wasn't necessarily planned ahead of time. It was like we moved. Now I'm going to go to San Pedro High because I'm living in San Pedro.
Yeah, basically.
So it's been a fortunate situation for you. I mean, you ended up on your feet. You ended up in a good program.
Yeah, great program. Great program.
Okay. And so tell me, if you can, what you appreciate the most about Coach Bobbich's program. I know you said he's a cool coach, but I mean, you know, that's a cool thing to say, but it's a little bit vague. So tell me, you know, something that you might appreciate about the program now that you've been in it.
Well, what I can say is Coach Bobbich he take his time with us and make sure we kind of understand things. So, you know, most coaches try to rush through like if you don't get it, you just don't get it. But Coach Bobbich try to really work with you and make sure you get it. You know, he's there hands on, like as if you one of his kids or something. So that's what I appreciate about it.
Nice. I like that. That's a very thoughtful answer. We have a toll-free number, Scott, if people want to call in and ask a question of Coach Bobbich or Khalil Dave or Brandon LaShaw. And what is that number?
It's 1-800-893-9562.
So if you have a question and you want to call in, this is a good time to call in because we've got the San Pedro Pirates.
The Pirates.
On the air with us here for a little while, and we're excited to have them on the air.
No patches.
No patches on their eyes. They can see. Okay, so that number again is 1-800-893-9562. I'm going to go to my board and see if we have any callers. Not yet, but we've got some good listeners right now. So 1-800-893-9562. If you want to call in and ask a question, go ahead and do so. Coach Bobbich, tell me about going back to, I mean, it's maybe not back to, but going back to San Pedro High School. It wasn't back to, but when I first met you, when I first started coaching in high school, you were coaching at Mary Star of the Sea, which is also in San Pedro.
Correct. That's where I went to school for 12 years, so that was my alma mater. I was in college, actually, when I was coaching at Mary Star, and once I got my degree, there was no jobs locally, and I ended up West Hollywood, going up to Pacific Hills, and it turned out to be a real positive experience.
Yeah, you were up there for, 8 years?
Actually, 11.
Oh, 11? I didn't know it was that long. 11 years at Pacific Hills. You had a lot of success there. You won a state championship in 1998, and that was a really good team.
Yeah, it was a great experience, great people up there. They're still Pacific Hills with one of my ex-players, Ivan Barahona, won the state champion last season.
Is that right?
Right.
And he played for you?
Played for me and graduated in 97.
Okay.
He took him last year. He ended up knocking off Bishop Montgomery, Sarah, and ended up going up north to winning the state final. So we're real proud of him. And he's actually a San Pedro boy.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So he followed you from San Pedro up to West Hollywood, Pacific Hills, and now he's kind of made that his home.
Yep. Now he's not even returned to San Pedro. It's kind of he actually was at our game against Gardena the other night with his wife and kids. It was great to have him back. So
nice.
He's been to our practices. He's actually come down to use our gym, and it's good to have a ex-player doing well. Yeah,
absolutely. I know how you feel about that. I'm really proud of all my ex-players that are coaching now, and you know, you guys, it makes coaches feel good when they see their players do well after they're done playing. And Coach Bobbich is got a great heart. He's like that, and not all coaches care as much as Coach Bobbich does. He always cared. He always was very engaged with his teams. And I remember well, we had some great battles with his teams. They played really hard, and we had a lot of respect for what he did at Mary Star. And then, now I don't remember if we played you at Pacific Hills or not. I know we saw you and you saw us when I was at Rebay, but I don't know if we actually played there.
Yeah. No, I believe we played Rebay after. I remember we lost to Rebay in the CIF championship the year after you left. So that's the time I remember playing. But like I said, you already was a year after you were gone.
Right. Yeah. I was at Rebay, Scott, as you know, for 2 years.
Yeah.
And actually one of our co-hosts is a player from that team, and he's not in tonight, but Chris Maxwell was our starting power forward on those teams. And we won 2 CIF championships and a state title in my 2 years at Rebay. We had a lot of fun there, and it was a great time. This was a time that I don't know if everyone can appreciate, but back then, schools didn't really recruit like they do now, and Coach, you know what I mean? I mean, now, when you go to pull the CIF program out and you go to the, whichever level it is, whether it's the lowest level, you'll see basically every team in the state or the CIF championship game is a team that, is able to recruit players into their program. And back then when we were doing it, people didn't really recruit. It wasn't something that people did.
Right. Now with the travel circuit, there's no doubt that, these kids who are playing, we at San Pedro take great pride because our kids are all living in San Pedro. Most of them went from kindergarten all the way up.
Right.
And like I said, it's rare this year. We had actually Brandon here came in as a great young man. But it's a rare thing to have not just a young man, but a great young man. On a side note, Brandon has 6 A's, so his GPA is dynamite. So we got a great, I wouldn't call it a recruit. We didn't even know Brandon until he showed up.
Right.
So back to the statement of, the recruiting. Unfortunately, we all know that a lot of those teams that are at the top have found ways to get kids in.
Right.
Legally, can you go out and talk to kids or have your people within your program bring in kids? No, but does it happen? And everybody kind of knows it does. So
right.
We
Exactly.
We take a lot of pride in the fact that we do it the right way and we're competing with our own San Pedro kids. We take great pride in our tallest kid this year is 6'3", and we've battled some big teams this year.
And that's, Scott, kind of why I wanted to talk about it, because I look at their team and they're like one of the only high school teams that's like really their team. It's really their community team. And I know San Pedro is a very proud community. It's a tight-knit community. I had the privilege of playing against Harbor College many, many times when I was coaching at LA City College. And, again, the same thing. They have a lot of local kids on their team from Carson or Narbonne or San Pedro, and it's a tight-knit community. Mary Star was like that, Coach, when you were there. You didn't have kids. Those kids were all from San Pedro that you had at Mary Star. None of those guys were from, Watts or South Central coming down there to play. They were, or Compton.
Or Chicago.
Or Chicago. Yeah. Scott likes
Europe.
Europe. Yeah. It's crazy. But I think that it's really neat what Coach Bobich has at San Pedro High, because, even Coach Brink, who's a longshoreman, we're going to bring him on here in a little while. He's a local San Pedro guy. It's a community school filled with community players, right, Coach?
Right. We try to talk to the kids about what they're doing today. 5, 10, 20 years from now, they're going to remember, Khalil's move against a certain team, or when we beat Carson the other day, the time he had 20 points, a couple crossovers,
Right.
He might not think it's a big deal, but 20 years from now, all these little young kids are coming from the parks and the boys club watching these young men.
Yeah.
They're like celebrities. They don't realize it, but you'll have people come and talk about games from the past. We still get even the Mary Star people my guys didn't even know I coached at Mary Star, but you'll have people come back from back in the day. Hey, remember the Cathedral Day against the game at Cathedral when we had a little incident, a little fight in little tiny Mary Star gym back in the day. So like I said, people still bring things like that up, and that's what makes our town so unique, because the kids, for the most part, stay in town and the community comes to support it. And, if a kid left San Pedro to go to another school, they could win the state championship, but they can come right back to San Pedro. People wouldn't even recognize them, because they don't go watch the games out of town. So that's what's unique about being in San Pedro.
It's really kind of, Scott, it's kind of almost, this may be a bad analogy, Coach can correct me, but it's almost like going to San Pedro is almost like being in the Midwest. It's like, this is our community. This is our team. We're going to support you good or bad. And, we don't care about the other teams. We're going to support. Now, luckily, they've been pretty good. Coach Bobich has been there. This is his 14th year. And prior to him going there, it had been a while since they had won a, meaningful championship.
Sure.
Like 1952.
Correct.
It's kind of a long time.
Well, it's pretty far out there, too. I mean, that's way down at the bottom of, as far as Los Angeles, it's pretty much as far as you can go out of the city while still being in the city. It's almost Long Beach.
Yeah, well,
when you get down there.
Yeah, well, now we don't want to say it's almost Long Beach. Coach Brink might strangle you for that, but it's not almost Long Beach. It's San Pedro. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's until you said that, I was feeling you, Scott.
It's way down there.
Scott's from Boston. You guys will have to excuse him if you're listening and you're from San Pedro. But here's the thing, is that it's as far as you can get in L.A. without going in the ocean.
Yeah.
Is that fair, Coach? Okay, is that fair?
But like this, when we do our conditioning runs, we're literally 1 block from the ocean.
Nice.
I remember in the 70s, they used to have the sitcom, the San Pedro Beach Bums.
Right. It lasted about a year.
Not even. But I still remember it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Funny show.
Okay,
I
well.
was 7.
You were 7?
Yeah, but I thought it was funny.
Nice.
It appealed to my 7-year-old humor.
Okay, I got you. Well, it's been a while since 1952, and then Coach Bobich in the San Pedro Pirates in 2006 won a city championship, city invitational, which is a championship, and that was a good team, huh? Who were your top guys on that team?
There was Jeremy Holland was an all-city player that year. Carlin Ocean was a heck of a player. Jeremy ended up playing up in Chemeketa Junior College in Oregon.
Up in Oregon, yeah.
Right. That team ended up going to the sports arena that year, and we had a 4-point win against Cleveland High School, so that was a lot of excitement. That's kind of when we kind of got the ball rolling. We were always getting there, but that really gave us a lot of confidence. It gave us a little championship experience, and from there we got to 2009 and won the Marine League Championship, knocking off the Narbonnes and the Carsons and Washington. Yeah. So that was a good year, and then the next year in 2010, we ended up getting to the Division II playoffs and knocking off University in the championship game there. So we've had our share prior to myself, and especially in the late 70s, they had their share of league championships, but actually a section championship, we have our banners up now, is 1952. So
nice. So when you beat Uni in 2010, was that Coach Ackerman, Steve Ackerman?
Yes, Steve's a great guy. He's been to that championship a few times, so we were fortunate. They had a really good player that year, and we, I want to say we beat him by maybe 15 in the championship game. So it was a lot of fun.
Yes, I like Steve a lot. He does a good job, and he's fiery on the sidelines.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Super guy.
Yeah, he is a good guy. Now, Coach, you are kind of far away from, parts of LA. Now, where do you play your tournaments when you're trying to schedule tournaments like Christmas time or Thanksgiving time, or do you try to go out of town, or do you go to certain ones over and over again?
We've been to our share of tournaments. We go out this was our first year we actually didn't go out of town just because we were in finals and it didn't work out in our schedule. But we've gone to Alaska. We've been to Hawaii. We've been to Fresno. Last year we went to Fresno. The kids loved that because up in Fresno, playing in front of 2,500 people.
Nice.
In this, smaller town. Vegas, we've been there in the past. So we usually do a road trip every year.
Okay, nice. And then are there local tournaments you like to play in as well?
We host our own tournament right after Christmas break.
Okay.
We had a 16-team tournament this year.
Nice.
We placed third in that. We went to the Huntington Park tournament, which has turned into a multi-level tournament. We played in the upper division of that. Mm-hmm. We played in the Westchester tournament to start off the season.
Okay.
So we had a pretty competitive schedule.
That is a competitive schedule. Now, Khalil, when Coach talked about the Fresno trip last year, you kind of smiled. So tell me about that trip. What was exciting for you about that Fresno trip?
It was just a great experience. I mean, playing in front of all those people, it's just it was like a really good learning experience for me. Like getting used to that atmosphere. It's just all that, all those people just looking at you and just screaming, and it's just just helping me get ready for like the next level, I think.
Yeah, Fresno's got a rabid basketball base, actually. I'm trying to think. I think it was my last state championship that I coached in. We beat Fresno City College, and they had a fanatical fan base. I mean, I went up there to scout twice that year because we were the best team in the South and they were the best team in the North, I thought. And I drove up there twice, and they were sold out at a JC game, both games that I went up to. I mean, they were like maybe 3,000 people. I mean, so you're right. You know, I mean, it's fanatical up there, and it is exciting.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad we didn't have to play them in Fresno.
Yeah.
For the state title. I'm glad we played them in San Diego. I'm glad about that.
With the San Diego refs?
No, thank God we didn't have the San Diego refs. But hey, if you've got San Diego refs and you're playing a San Diego team, you have problems.
Yeah.
But
Might be okay if you're playing in Northern California.
Right, exactly. Then they don't care. You know, I mean, I can't tell you guys how many times we started the year 13-0, 14-0, 17-0, and we'd lose to a team in San Diego that was not a good team, just an average team. But it was in San Diego in a tournament, and it was Scott knows it was the San Diego refs. I mean, it was
6 against 5. Are you saying 7?
7,
8.
Yeah. You know, we've had some crazy experiences with that, right?
Sure. Well,
I mean,
you know, it's their area.
Yeah, right. No kidding.
They're protecting the county.
Well, here's the thing.
County pride.
When you're playing in LA, there's so many teams to referee and there's so many referees that no one really has to show favoritism. But when you're a college referee in San Diego and you want to referee in college, there's only one league you can referee in, right? And so you're going to make sure that league is good, you know, when you're refereeing those games. Because, I mean, up here, we have so many different JC conferences and high school, same thing, that the referees, you know, they don't really have to show any bias. I mean, they don't have to worry about keeping the coaches happy.
Yeah.
San Diego, they do. So anyway, let's do this. This is a good start, and I'm enjoying this conversation. I want to. Coach Bobic touched on the famous brawl, the Cathedral brawl at Mary Star many years ago. We'll talk about that when we come back from commercial break. Jeremy, let's go to break, and when we get back, we'll have more San Pedro High School basketball with Coach Bobic and the Pirates. Here we go. This is Coach Miller from Time Out with Coach Miller. I'm here excited to tell you about Medicus Graphics Center located in Los Angeles, California. Medicus is the official printer and graphic designer of Time Out with Coach Miller. Medicus does a tremendous job for any printing need from big to small. Whether you want to print a book or a 4-color poster or business cards, go see my friends at Medicus Graphics Center in Los Angeles, California, located at 2030 Hyperion Avenue. Tell them Coach Miller sent you. Medicus will take care of you like they've taken care of me.
16 made a dream with this basketball. Coach Miller on the court and we going hard. Pass the rock to the paint. I give it my all or be like Chris Paul. Shoot the 3-point, y'all. Look, it's Time Out with Coach Miller. 14 straight conference championships. We winners. It don't stop from the bottom to the ceiling. Cause all I know is win and we winning. Full focus, we got a topic to discuss. High school, prep school, small colleges, yup. Another special guest today, listen up. It might get a little hectic from the stuff we discuss.
His son.
Are we back on the air? Okay. Oops. I'm sorry, Jeremy. Jeremy, you tricked me on that one. You're the boss here, but usually we run 2 commercials back to back.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that, Coach.
So, you know, though Jeremy's the boss, he usually doesn't run the sound booth. But you know, since you're the boss, I'm not going to fight with you. But anyway, two commercials, okay, back to back. That gives Coach a little time to rest and talk. Okay, so we're back on the air. Welcome back to Time Out with Coach Miller. Our phone number is 1-800-893-9562. And if you have a question for Coach Bobich or any of the Pirates, you can call in. We're pleased to have them on the air with us. We've got them on the air for about another 20, 25 minutes. And then we're going to have DeMatha High School coach Mike Jones. He will be joining us, Scott.
Yep.
And then we've got Trey Dickerson, who is a fantastic junior college point guard. So we've got a nice show lined up tonight. Again, 1-800-893-9562 if you want to call in. So we're back, and we were just talking about it off the air, Scott, and it's a great story. I'm going to let Coach Bobich tell most of it. I think I may, fill in a piece here or there. So we're playing. It's a really, I don't even remember. Let's see. It was my second year at Cathedral, I think. I think it was my second year because I don't think you guys were in the league or my first year. So we were good. We won the league championship that year, the Santa Fe League. We won it both years I was there. We went to the CI Final Four both years. And proud of that because it was the most successful 2-year period in the history of Cathedral High School. So we're playing, and Coach Bobich is at Mary Star of the Sea. Now, was that your first year there, or had you already been there?
I think that was my second year. Second year.
Yeah, I think it might have been, but you weren't in our league.
No, you weren't in our league.
And that was in San Pedro?
No, I was in the Santa Fe League both years I was at Cathedral. So you must have been in a different league.
We were probably in a different league.
Your first year.
Yeah, we're going back a while. So.
It's a while. Yeah. But see, I remember what happened was we had El Segundo join the league and Cantwell.
Correct.
And you guys. And so it was a...
Salesian maybe too.
No, we had Salesian was always with us. Salesian and Paternoster was there my first year because they were like the Cathedral, Salesian, Paternoster. Well, they were the three big rivals. They were all in kind of the same area, and they were all long-term rivals. So, but you guys joined, and El Segundo and Cantwell, and all three were really good teams. In fact, I have to tell you, we won the league that year, but I think Cantwell, El Segundo, and Mary Star were I don't know the order they finished in, but they were second, third, and fourth. And like all the teams that were with us, they were all at the bottom. Like Salesian and Paternoster, all the teams that we had before you guys came in. Because my first year at Cathedral, we had Harvard Westlake in with us, and we had Chaminade, and we had Beljeff. And they left and went to a league in the Valley, and that's when you guys came in. And it made the league really strong. And Coach Bobich had a really tough team, scrappy guys, and they were, again, San Pedro guys. I remember the point guard's name, Richard Negretti, right?
Yep, George Paisano.
That's right, George Paisano.
You used to call Chuck Jones Truck. You used to call him Truck Jones.
That's right. Chuck, I almost said Truck right there, Truck Jones. He was a big guy.
Right.
Okay, and I remember George Paisano's name now that you said that. Who else did you have?
Marin Kodasik, Michael Strassnyder, to name a few.
Yeah. So
they're all Pedro guys that are pretty much still living in San Pedro.
Yeah, and they were good guys, good, hard players. So we're playing. It was the game. Now, was that the first game we played?
Second.
So we beat you at Cathedral.
Correct.
So we're playing. We're going down. We probably beat you in a close game, Cathedral, because all our games were close.
Right. And I still remember the adjustment you made. You took away the ball reversal in our point guard. I still remember the adjustment you made, and it got us into a little problem, and that was kind of the difference.
Okay.
And then in the game at Mary Star, I believe it might have gotten overtime. It was a real tight game.
Yeah.
Which that's part of the tension that was going on.
Yeah, exactly. And so we have to go down there. We beat them in a close game at Cathedral, and we go down and play at Mary Star. Have you guys ever been in Mary Star's gym?
The old Mary Star gym on 8th Street.
Yeah.
Have you ever been? Okay. So you probably haven't been.
Yeah, I haven't
okay,
been.
but Khalil Dave is a San Pedro native, I'm taking it, right? Grew up in San Pedro. So you've probably been in all the gyms in San Pedro.
Yeah.
And that's a small gym.
Yeah, very small gym.
Okay. Coach Brank, have you been in that gym, that old gym? Okay, so there's room enough for one row of chairs, Scott, around the floor. That's it. And then the stage. And we're playing them, and it's crazy. It's loud. It's packed. And, it's a lot on the line, I mean, we're still vying for first place, and so are you. And and we won a very, very close game. I mean, 1-point game, 2-point game?
Something like that.
I mean, it was like...
It was tight. It could have been an overtime, but either way, it was right down to the last second. I just remember we missed a shot. I still see, like I said, at break, I told you we had 2 cameras going. I had to review those cameras to see what actually took place. So it was an interesting game.
What took place was a bench clearing brawl.
And a stage clearing brawl.
Yes, a stage clearing brawl.
Nice.
They were coming off the stage.
Wow.
They were coming off the stage. Now, we had a few fans there, but not many. Not many. But I remember one. He was a football player. He was in my English class. His name was David Angula, and he was a lineman. He was a big dude, and he had his boots on and his Cathedral Phantom, football jersey. And, it was a bench clearing brawl. I mean, it was a Donnybrook, as I remember. I didn't get hit, though. Did you get hit, Coach?
No.
I didn't get hit. So, but, I mean, people were coming off the stage, fans. I mean, it was intense.
There was 3 different locations of...
Broken chairs?
No broken chairs. They were metal.
Yeah.
No, but we had 3 different
chairs.
areas where people were fighting. 3 different areas on the court. And the way I recall, there was a player in your team, and I think he was jawing with, I don't know who started, but he was jawing with the crowd during the game, so they were having words.
Yeah.
And then the final shot we missed, and it just triggered.
I think it was our point guard and Coach Bobich's point guard was Negretti, and our point guard, I think those are the 2 that they were the catalysts, I want to say, of the Donnybrook. Now, you saw it on film afterwards. I never saw it on film. So there were 3 different locations.
2 locations, right?
But 3 locations of
3
fighting.
locations of fighting.
Yeah.
Right. One in the far right corner there, and then one right in the middle by the top of the key, and one just off the stage.
Yeah, right.
So which school won the fight?
Mary started.
Yeah.
Was it like 2? Was it 2-1, 3-0?
3-0.
Oh,
But
man.
we didn't win the game, but we won the battle.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think they won a fight, though, because they had us outnumbered. But we, eventually calmed
Didn't
down.
even get a split decision.
No, I don't think so. But I didn't get hit. So.
Yeah, so that's a win.
Yeah, that was a win for me. But it was.
Now you'd probably enjoy it because you got your Muay Thai training.
But that game actually affected the future because from then on, now the rule is if you leave your bench, it's a suspension. If you throw a punch, you're suspended. So we actually practice. We let these kids know if you get off that bench for anything, they could suspend you for the game plus the next one. So
that's I guess we were rule originators back then.
Yeah, that's kind of neat though, seeing people jumping off the stage. That would be the part I'd want to see. That's like
it's on video.
That's like a punk rock.
And
thing.
I literally have it in the archives, believe it or not.
Wow.
Do you really?
Yeah. Did you edit it together, like best of?
Somebody actually did that. For the principal wanted to see it.
Oh, yeah. So it's just like a simple 5-minute.
Nowadays, they would have edited any kid who threw a punch to make sure we're innocent.
Yeah, now they'd put it up on YouTube
Definitely,
that day. Probably while still in the gym, they would upload it and it would get 7,000 views.
Yeah, no kidding. But you know what? I'd love to see that. That'd be fun.
7,002.
We need to get together at Coach Bobich's house and have a barbecue and watch that film.
We already have these kids. Back to the kids for a second. One of the things that really changed our season around. We were going through a struggle, but the Coach Bobich house has become one of the places they like to hang out because we do our team meals prior to games and.
Yeah.
These guys, hey, let's go to your house. Let's watch some college ball. We have the San Pedro Italian restaurant, Serrano's, that sponsors us. So
that's great.
Kind of like it goes right back to the San Pedro tradition.
Sure.
Like I said, so.
Nice. So what are we going to have to do to get Khalil Dave to leave San Pedro for a year or more to continue his basketball career? Is that?
Well, Khalil has come so far. Just the Khalil story was his sophomore year, going into his junior, he was like on that borderline JV varsity. And actually, at the time, he was the 3rd point guard.
Okay.
And what I loved about it, he had this confidence, hey, Coach, what do I have to do? And he went from 3rd point guard to being a dynamite point guard his junior year, and now leading the way for this squad, let those, super positive numbers. He's one of the top assist guys, and he's up 5:30 in the morning at the YMCA. He's at the YMCA locally all the time working on his game.
Nice.
So this young man definitely will be playing at the next level. So as you saw him tonight, wasn't one of his best games. You know, we're still working on the films on his reads and when to go, when not to go. And, you know, I'm sure Mike Miller's going to give him some great advice to help him get to that next level.
What is the 3 for the KD3? Is that your uniform number, or are you the third in the generation?
That's my uniform number.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nice. Well, you know, it's funny because before the game, I talked to Coach Bobic and to Coach Brink, and Coach Bobic said, "Hey, your assistant really likes our point guard," and you know, referring to one of our staff and who had come out to see them play. And I'm sitting there watching them, and you didn't start tonight. You were late.
Yeah, I was late to shoot around. I apologize to the team. Usually doesn't happen a lot, but
It doesn't happen ever, but
yeah, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's just one of those days I had to clean my uniform. And
Yeah, well, you were late and you paid the price. You didn't get the start. So, but when you came in the game, I mean, it was like instant. It was like, you know, quick. Got a very quick first step, very quick, and gets to the rim. And finished in traffic a few times. And so I could see a lot of potential there. And I was thinking, you know, what Coach told me before the game. And then I was thinking, you know, this guy is pretty good. I mean, maybe he could be, you know, it'd be nice if he got a year older, a little bigger, a little stronger. But, you know, this guy could have some kind of bright future, you know, playing basketball. Of course, you'd have to leave San Pedro to do that at some point, you know. I'm going to tell one story, and then we'll take a quick commercial break. You know, I had a player who started for us on 2 years. He was from Watts. His name was Tyrone Riley. Went to L.A. Jordan. Coach may remember him or may not remember him, but he was a good player at L.A. Jordan, and he started for us for 2 years. I redshirted him his first year. He started the next 2 years. We played in 2 state championship games, and he went to the University of San Francisco on a scholarship, and he had a great career, got his degree, and he went overseas. He's been overseas for a while. Well, Tyrone, do you remember Tyrone, Ron?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Tyrone. He's a good guy.
Great player. 6'6" power forward, could face up and shoot the ball from about 15, 16 feet. In the 3 years I had him, he never dunked the ball once. I still to this day don't think he can dunk. Now, for a guy to play, you know, pretty good level of college basketball, he had 22 and 12 against Ohio State on the road, okay, his junior year at USF. He was their best player. He was all WCC player both years. Pretty good level of basketball. I never saw him dunk. I coached him for 3 years. I don't think he can dunk. Wow. Okay, seriously. I don't think he can dunk. I don't think he has any hops. He can jump over a phone book, and that's about it. But when it was time for Tyrone, we won the state championship his sophomore year, and we had 9 players on the team signed Division I. And it was time for him. It was to go to college, and he had to take some recruiting visits and stuff. And I'm telling you the story kind of, but you know, I looked at him one day and I go, Tyrone, you do understand there's no University of Watts. And he looked at me, coach. We had Washington in the Pac-10. We had Cincinnati. We had major schools that wanted him. At the end, he chose between the University of San Diego and the University of San Francisco. Why? Because they were the 2 closest schools to Watts. Okay, there was no University of Watts. I used to tell Tyrone that all the time. So, you know, you are going to have to go away to school at some point.
This USC.
Well,
kind of close.
Kind of close. University of South Central?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pepperdine Extension.
Oh, boy. You have to understand, Scott's a UCLA guy. Okay. When Scott left me, Scott worked for me at LA City College, and I'm really proud of him. He went to UCLA, transferred, and he became the sports editor of the Daily Bruin, which is like super big time. It's like the best college newspaper in the country.
In the world.
Oh, okay, in the world.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And he was the sports editor. I mean, he was big time. And when I met Scott, he was a sports reporter at LA City College, and I recruited him off of the paper to work for me in basketball. And so, you know, I was proud of him when he went back to the paper and became sports editor. I used to talk about him all the time. And so, you know, again, there is no University of San Pedro. So at some point, Khalil Dave, you're going to have to go away to school.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you want next year, we can see if we can keep you close to home for a year, a little post-grad year or something, and not too far from Pedro. But then you're going to have to go away, because that, they don't have a University of San Pedro yet. Okay, so one day maybe, but that's my little story that you can think about for yourself. And what I want to do is I want to take a short break, and when we come back, I want to bring Joshua Villanueva and Coach Brink on over here and put them on the hot seat and ask them a few questions. So, Jeremy, let's cut to break, and let's run 2 commercials back to back. Hey, it's Coach Miller. You're listening to my show, Time Out with Coach Miller. I want to talk to you today about my favorite car dealership located in beautiful Hollywood, California. It's called Gem Motors. Gem Motors is located at 5639 West Sunset Boulevard. If you want a high-end automobile that's at a great price, whether it's a BMW, a Mercedes, a Jaguar, or a Porsche, go to my friends at Gem Motors. They have a beautiful indoor dealership located at 5639 West Sunset Boulevard, right across from Home Depot. Go see my friends at Gem Motors. Tell them Coach Miller sent you and get a special discount. The phone number is area code 323-962-9696. 323-962-9696.
It's time out with Coach Miller. 14 straight conference championships, we winners. It don't stop from the bottom to the ceiling, cause all I know is win and we winning. Full focus, we got a topic to discuss. High school, prep school, small colleges, yup. Another special guest today, listen up. It might get a little hectic from the stuff we discuss.
Hey, this is Coach Miller. I'm excited to tell you about my new instructional videos that are on DVDs, produced and distributed by Scoreboard Media out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Scoreboard Media is a great outfit. They also publish books on recruiting and basketball. But what I want to tell you about is to make sure you get a chance to see my post-play DVDs. If you want to become a better post player, score more in the post, and be more effective for your team, why not check out my DVDs? These great instructional videos will really help improve your game. Scoreboard Media is the place to get them at.
Welcome to the 500 Club. We the best, my whole team tough. Close to 100 Division Ones I built up. Dedication and hard work. Step up to the court, I'm like, who ready to lose first? 14 times champs every year earned. Feet to the court, let me get in my zone. Hands grip to the ball, let me get in control. Non-stop, can't quit, that's a winner's quote. I'ma just keep doing me, hear the crowd as they cheer. 18 out of 19, coach of the year. Time out with Coach Miller, listen clear. 2 times a week, listen to me on the ear. Over 30 wins, it was for 4 straight years. First to win state my high school and college career. Over 30 wins, it was for 4 straight years. First to win state my high school and college career.
Song.
Hey, we're back. We're live. Welcome to Time Out with Coach Miller, Scott. And you were talking. Arg. You were talking.
Pirates.
You were talking about Little Kevin, our rapper. That is our theme song, Coach Bobich. Time Out with Coach Miller theme song. It's a rap.
Yep, Lil Kev. He sent me an email this week on Facebook for one of my upcoming storytelling shows. He wanted to refer one of his friends.
Nice.
And
you know, I mean, hey, he did a good job. I'm proud that we have a theme song. I'm proud that Little Kevin did our rap. And, I don't know much about rap, but, I guess it's a good rap.
Yeah, well, I know you had some Lil Weezy albums back in the day, so.
I think some of my players had those, and I listened to them when they were in the car.
Yeah.
And anyway,
that was pre-incarceration.
Yeah, exactly. Usually what I listen to, you know what I listen to.
Yeah, Nat King Cole and Lil Wayne.
Nat King Cole Christmas songs all year round, including in July. And I don't forget my Johnny Cash.
Yeah, little Johnny Cash mixed in there.
Little Johnny Cash. So anyway, I'm back. I'm excited to have Coach Bobich and the San Pedro Pirates in the house with us tonight. We've got a couple other guests lined up. We have Trey Dickinson calling in a little bit later and Coach Mike Jones from DeMatha High School. So, again, our phone number is 1-800-893-9562. We are available on iTunes. Scott, how do they find us?
You go onto iTunes, itunes.com, type in Timeout with Coach Miller, and it should hop right up there. And
Nice.
then you just click subscribe, totally free, and then you can catch up on months and months of past Timeout with Coach Millers that you missed out on.
Right.
Just take 2 days off from work and listen to them one after another.
Yeah, don't go to work. Just listen. We had Westchester High School in here, and we can listen to that.
Yep,
and
yep.
Go find them, and you could...
Samson Brew.
Samson Brew. We had East LA College. We had a number of great guests. So
John Wooden Award.
we had the John Wooden Award people in here.
Two times.
That was a big time for us. Anyway, what's big time tonight is I've got Coach Brink over here next to Coach Bobich.
Of the Pirates.
Coach Brink joined Coach Bobich in 2003. Coach, where did you find Coach Brink? Just you knew him from Pedro, or what was the deal?
He's a Pedro guy, so we definitely were playing pickup ball.
Okay.
At the outdoor courts at Peck Park and at the local park league. So, I knew him from a distance, and we still, we had something in common, and that led to,
Right.
us coaching together.
So you brought him on. It's been 10 years now.
Yeah. Both of his sons and his daughter came through San Pedro High School.
Nice. So Coach Brink, tell me about your part in the program. What are you doing to help Coach Bobich be successful?
Well, first of all, I want to correct you on one thing. It's San Pedro.
San
Pedro.
Pedro.
Yeah, so let's get that right. Let's start there.
Okay.
I was sitting over there the whole time saying, man, I can't wait to tell him
You
how
could
to
run
say
out
it.
of town if you said that in San Pedro.
That's how we know if you're from San
That's
Pedro.
funny.
So do it again.
San Pedro.
Pedro.
Pedro. There you go.
Pedro.
San
Right.
Pedro.
San Pedro.
Yeah, and if you're from Pedro, you could even say the Dro. Just the Dro.
Dro.
Joe City.
Just the Dro.
I could just say Dro.
Dro City.
Dro City.
Yeah.
Okay. So
We'll even get you a T-shirt that says the Dro.
Dro. Okay. So Joshua, is that right? Just
Yeah.
just call it Dro City.
Yeah, Joe City.
How about if I just call it Dro?
That's good too.
That's okay too.
That's good too.
Okay. I like that. Okay.
Bro.
The Dro. So Coach Brink has got me straightened out on this deal now. I think
That's
I'm
right.
good on that. So tell me what you're doing. You've been helping Coach Bobich for 10 years. What's your main role?
Well, first of all, I played at San Pedro. So I graduated in 87. I played 85 and 86.
Okay.
I love San Pedro. It's where I'm from. I started with the freshman and sophomore team, and I coached that. We went undefeated for 3 years,
Nice.
both teams. And that was
Nice.
nice. We didn't lose a game. We won, I think, 40-something straight.
Wow.
Wow.
I transferred over to the girls program, and I coached the varsity girls for 3.5, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And first year we went to the Final Four in the playoffs. So we had a lot of success.
Nice.
Before that, they hadn't won a game in 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
So we kind of turned the program around. And I had my chance to go back and coach with Bobich, and I took it.
Nice.
And I work on the strength and conditioning. I work with the point guards.
Okay.
And I am really busy. I mean, I have my own company. I work longshore, like you mentioned. So it's always nonstop. The kids will tell you sometimes I get there, boom, the ball's in the air and I'm walking to the sideline. So,
I like that. Now, do you work with one of my former players, Jason Perica?
All the
He's a
time.
longshoreman.
yes. In fact, I even play against him in the Longshoreman Bloody Thursday tournament.
Nice. His
What's
father.
the bloody third? That sounds awesome.
Yeah. That's a Longshoreman tournament. Yeah.
Wow.
IOWU.
Are they like really violent games?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of
Absolutely.
like old school.
Absolutely.
Like old school Miami Pat Riley Heat.
Right.
Kind of like that Mary Star Cathedral game used to be,
Yeah.
right?
When you mentioned how you didn't get hit, all I could think of is that's because I wasn't the assistant coach for John back then.
Coach first.
Tough town.
Nice. Yeah, it is a tough town. You're right. Well, I'll tell you what. I really enjoyed coaching Jason Perica, and I had him for a couple years at LACC, and he was a nice player for us.
And he can still play.
Yeah, Kenny?
He can still play.
Okay.
Still got the good drop step, post move.
Yeah, he could shoot the ball a little
Oh,
bit
he
too
can
now.
shoot, yeah.
Yeah, so I know that if you're playing with him, that you're probably a pretty good player yourself still.
Pretty good.
Okay, good.
And Jason was a heck of a coach, believe it or not.
Yeah,
I mean,
I believe it.
he adjusted his goals of life, looking to maybe get married one day and get a house. And that he says, John, I love coaching, but, hanging out with you and the guys, I love it, but I got some goals. So we really missed him because he was a dynamite coach, and he was part of a couple championships.
He was a fantastic coach. I know. Jason and I stay in touch still, and he's a fantastic person too. And Coach Brinkle, make sure you say hello.
Absolutely.
And now Jason, he's not from the Dro though.
No, he's not.
He's not from the Dro.
No.
He's just kind of visiting the Dro.
Yeah, he's there now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's there now.
Gotcha.
You got to be 10 years before you get your San Pedro card.
Oh, okay.
10 years. You have to live there 10 years, or you're considered an outsider.
Yeah,
Nice.
there's parts of Boston like that too.
Yeah.
Like where you can, which ones are the ones that are kind of just moving into the area because it's becoming kind of like the hip little place, and which ones are like 3 generations deep.
Right, I got you. That makes sense. So, okay, we're going to welcome Joshua Villanueva to the show. Joshua's a 12th grader, a senior. He plays hard defense. He shoots the ball well. I saw that tonight. And let me ask you, Khalil Dave, tell me about your teammate, Joshua.
I think he's by far our best defender. He's always hustling. Just a guy I love playing with. Just amazing.
Let me see here what I've got with my mic here. Okay, hold on. Let's do it this way. Go ahead and talk into here.
I just think he's an extremely athletic kid. Great defender, always hustling. No matter what happens, he just wants to win, just like I do. And I just love having a teammate like that. Just amazing.
I saw that tonight. Coach Bobich, he's your 6th man, right?
Correct.
Joshua?
Like I said, he was at San Pedro his freshman and sophomore year. He transferred over to Milliken, but as he said, he liked our program, and he ended up getting a transfer back. So he had to sit out all the way till January 6th.
Oh, wow. That's not fun.
But he did bring a lot of defensive energy when he did come back to the squad.
So, Joshua, what brought – that's a good story, actually. I want to touch on that for a minute. What brought you to that decision? Yeah, I'm going to leave, and now I'm going to come back. I mean, that's a big decision.
Well, when I first played there, it was kind of like, yeah, we had a lot of friendships and everything, but then I wasn't getting better at basketball. And when we moved to Long Beach, because I was originally from San Pedro, we moved to Long Beach, and Milliken was like right down the street, and it was too far to go to San Pedro. I didn't drive yet, so I just ended up going there. Played JV a couple games, played varsity, like on the bench. We just sat on the bench. And but when I was over there, I got really better with Coach Chris Francis.
Okay.
And just lifted weights, ran a lot. And then after I got my license, I decided to come back to San Pedro because I'm a Pedro boy. So I had to come back and play senior year here. So, yeah. And, that's why I came back.
So that's why you came back, and you missed your friends and stuff. Now, you're back in the program, and you have a unique perspective. You've been in the program, you were gone, now you're back. So tell me what makes the San Pedro, did I say it right, Coach?
San Pedro.
Pedro. Dro. What makes the San
I like it when you say that, by the way. That
Dro?
sounds good. Yeah.
I like the Dro.
The Dro, yeah.
Okay, I like the Dro. Dro City. What makes the Dro City Pirate basketball program special?
A lot of close relationships, bonds. You're more than a team, or like you're more than teammates. You're like family, on and off the court. So that's really what has the biggest bond at that school.
Have you been playing with a lot of your teammates since you were like 7, 8 years old?
I met Khalil actually when I was in 4th grade. Played at the Boys and Girls Club a couple times.
All right, so that's got to be like special chemistry too.
Yeah.
I mean, just because you guys know each other from 8,000 pickup games, like on driveways and stuff like that.
Yeah, like at the local park.
Jeremy, that's our next guest. Tell him to hold on, okay, and that we'll be there after commercial break.
I think that just went over the air. Give you guys a little behind the scenes, look of what goes on Time Out with Coach Miller.
Yeah, there you go. I'm balancing guests and stuff.
What's the deal with the mohawk?
The mohawk? Well, at the beginning of the season, everybody was supposed to do it, and we were supposed to bleach it. But
And you were first.
yeah, and I was first, and nobody else did it. So
They do that to the transfer.
They actually was a practical joke, and they all said they're going to come on Monday and do it, and he was the only one to show up
You
with
were
it.
supposed to be second. Transfers first.
yeah.
So where's the mohawk colored though? Don't we want that blonde or purple or something?
I was gonna do it, but I don't know. I was gonna do it, but yeah, I just didn't do it.
Well, it's not too late, is it?
You gonna keep it for your graduation photo?
Maybe, probably.
Well, is it too late, Joshua,
Nah.
to do it?
No, I might do it probably like next week, maybe before senior night.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That'd be nice.
Yeah,
That's his signature now. That everyone knows the mohawk.
Is that what it is?
The time to get a mohawk.
Wow. Wow.
You can only do that in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not as shocking as it was, back in the 80s anyhow.
Yeah, it's
These
not as
days,
shocking
now.
now.
It's just like number 7, like on the haircut wall.
Yeah. Well, Khalil was telling me, asking me if we have a player on our team named QV, who we do, and if he's got blonde hair. And I said, well, he has blonde hair sometimes. Sometimes it's purple.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's green. I mean, it's like you said, it's not that shocking anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
But I bet you he wouldn't show up in Skidrow City wearing purple green hair.
I don't know. There's no purple heads or green heads in the Drow.
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Not like West Hollywood or
Yeah.
places like that.
Yeah, no, there wouldn't be a lot there.
Yeah,
So-
I've never been through that area. That except for like I've been to Harbor for some games, but
Well,
that would be
obviously
the
you've never been to the area because you asked Coach Brink if it was north of Pasadena.
I mix up some of the
The
towns.
totally opposite direction. Yeah.
Like I mix up San Dimas and San Pedro a lot.
Did he say it right?
Pedro.
Pedro. See, he was the Pedro, like Pedro.
I know it's because out
Pedro.
here you
It's Pedro.
That's right.
It's
You got it.
Pedro.
make everything with the Spanish enunciation. So
It's
I
not
figured-
Pedro. Tell him it's Pedro.
Pedro.
I know. I was
San
saying, like,
Pedro.
Pedro the lion.
Well, listen, it's been a lot of fun to have
Pedro.
the San Pedro Pirates
Arg.
in the house tonight with us and Coach Bobich, who he and I go back, I don't even want to say, I guess it's about 25 years now. And it was fun to watch this team play tonight. And even though they lost, I was hoping, I was rooting for you guys to win. But it shows character, I think, guys. You players that are here in studio with Coach Brink and Coach Bobich tonight. It shows character, after a loss, how you conduct yourself and, coming in to do a show. It's hard to do. Imagine you're going to watch the Super Bowl on Sunday and you're going to see those players, both the winners and the losers, and they're going to talk to the media after the game. And now you're going to have a better perspective on how that feels, I think, because it's hard to do. It's hard to talk after a loss,
Right. We were on a little bit of a roll, so we've been in the good spirit. And like I said, we have to bounce back from this setback. And I think I know these guys definitely will.
I think so, too. So Monday night at 7 o'clock
Versus Banning.
versus Banning at San Pedro High School.
You got it. That's right.
Okay.
And then we're going to be honoring our seniors on Friday against Washington at home.
Okay. Well, that'll be fun. Listen,
How many seniors?
11.
Wow.
11. Wow.
A lot of seniors.
Well, listen, I want to thank you guys for coming in tonight. It's been great to have you on the show. I'm going to take a very quick commercial break. Jeremy, just play one for me. And when we come back, we're going to have Coach Mike Jones of DeMatha High School on the show. Here we go, Jeremy. Roll it.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
This is Coach Miller from Time Out with Coach Miller. I'm here excited to tell you about Medicus Graphics Center located in Los Angeles, California. Medicus is the official printer and graphic designer of Time Out with Coach Miller. Medicus does a tremendous job for any printing need from big to small. Whether you want to print a book or a 4-color poster or business cards, go see my friends at Medicus Graphics Center in Los Angeles, California, located at 2030 Hyperion Avenue. Tell them Coach Miller sent you. Medicus will take care of you like they've taken care of me.
state champs, high school and JC. He was the first coach to do it in California history. Coach Miller, he can beat any team. Got shooters on the court and dunkers dunk everything. He got to win, so the plan is defeat. Been coaching on the court before he turned 18. From 08, going down to 93, he was the conference champs, home of the LACC. Youngest coach to beat 500 teams, 43. Everybody can't do it like he. A coach is something he was destined to be. Now we got a radio show to discuss some things, talking informative conversations. Listen to the real. Tuesday and Friday at night from 10 to 12. A live show, tune in and listen well. Special guests and take audience calls as well.
Hey, we are live. Welcome back to Timeout with Coach Miller. We are live on the air. We are in studio. Scott, we are live, but we are not really on Skid Row, are we?
Nope. We're in the jewelry district where the rats wear wristwatches.
That's right. We're not really on Skid Row. We are Skid Row adjacent, as you like to say, right?
Kind of Skid Row adjacent.
Well, listen, we had a great in-studio guest tonight. We had San Pedro High School.
San Pedro.
And their team in studio was a great time. And now I'm really excited to have our guest, Coach Mike Jones. Are you there, Coach?
Yes, I am. How are you?
Awesome. I am well, and thank you for joining us. Coach Jones, DeMatha Catholic High School, a traditional powerhouse, one of the top powerhouse schools in the country year in and year out. Coach, you guys have a big game tomorrow versus Westchester High School down at Mater Dei, correct?
That is correct. Very much looking forward to it. Had a safe trip out, and we can't wait to get on the court tomorrow.
Okay, so tell us about your season. Now, I know that you're well-versed in the DeMatha tradition because you're a former player and a graduate of DeMatha, correct?
Yes, that is correct. And I've been back, this is my 16th season back working at DeMatha and my 12th as the head coach. So DeMatha has been involved in my life for half of my life. So I'm very much entrenched in the school community, and I'm proud to represent the school with the basketball team.
And I think that's special because I really love to see tradition honored, and you are honoring it and honoring the tradition that Coach Morgan Wooten built, and you're building on it, actually. So let's talk about this year's team. You're 17-2 right now, if my numbers are correct, and yep. You've been playing some pretty good basketball.
Yeah, we're a young team. We start one freshman, we start one, sometimes two sophomores, one junior, and then one or two seniors. So we're a relatively young team. With such a young team, sometimes we're a little inconsistent, but overall, I like where we are right now. We play in what I believe to be one of the toughest leagues in the country. Right now, we're ranked number 25 by USA Today, and we're in fourth place in our league. So, we don't have any nights off, and being able to have a break in our league schedule and come out and play an event like the Nike Extravaganza against a great team such as Westchester, it kind of, we're looking forward to it, and then we get to go back home and get ready for the stretch run.
Right, and it's going to be kind of a tough trip in that you're out here. You flew in today, right, Coach?
Flew in. Yes, we flew in this morning. I left East Coast. I think our flight left at 9 o'clock, and we got here around noon. This time, West Coast time. So
here you are. You're going to play tomorrow. Luckily, you have the late game, and after the game, you've got to get out of town because you play a league game. One Monday, right?
Yeah, that is correct. So it's not I think one of the things we're trying to do is we're trying to stay on our time zone as much as we possibly can. So basically all we're just dealing with is just being on the playing. So
Right.
hopefully we won't adjust too much to West Coast time because we got to turn right back around and go back home.
Yeah, good point. Now, you've been in a couple of these kind of showcase events this year, and I believe you've won. I think you've been in 2, and you won both of those games. Isn't that right?
Yes.
So you're 2-0 in these showcase type events. The Spalding was the Spalding Hoop Hall Classic you were in.
Yep. We did that one. We also played in the Shooting Touch Shootout, which was in Boston over Christmas. We actually played 2 games there, and then we did a couple local showcase events against pretty good teams back in Maryland. So
right.
And we do a couple of these every year. So we're used to it. Again, we're young, but our young guys played for us last year too, so they do have some experience.
Okay, now let's talk about something you touched on. You said that you're 4th place in your league right now. Now, I find that hard to believe, but tell our listeners about your league, and I guess you have 2 losses on the season. I guess I'm assuming they're both in league play. Is that right?
That is correct. Yep. Yeah, we as of a week ago, our first place team in our league was Bishop O'Connell High School, which actually is coached by Morgan Wooten's son, Joe Wooten. They were undefeated in our league. Now they have 1 loss in our league. They lost last week. They're one of the 2 teams to beat us. The team that they were tied with, St. John's, they're ranked, I believe, number 13 in the country right now. And then Paul VI, which was the preseason favorite in our league, they got as high as number 3 in the rankings, but they've lost a couple of games since then within the league. So they lost on a buzzer beater action last night to St. John's. So, our league's tough, man. The team we play on Monday, they just lost to St. John's tonight by 1 at their place, and St. Mary's Rackin, that's also in our league. So we got our work cut out for us. There's no easy games in our league, and that's one of the reasons why I think our league is one of the toughest in the country. But ultimately, I think it does a great job preparing our guys for college and what they'll deal with, and we're proud to see our guys go on and be able to play very well and be ready to play right away when they do go on to college. So.
Right. And you've had a great tradition of sending guys on to major Division I schools. Let's just touch on the league before we get into the players, so make sure we're clear. So you have St. John's in the league, Paul VI, Bishop McNamara.
Bishop McNamara, Bishop O'Connell, Gonzaga, College High School, St. Mary's Rackin, Archbishop Carroll, and Our Lady of Good Counsel, and Bishop Ireton, as well as us. So we're a 10-team league.
Okay. And so what's your league record right now, Coach Jones?
I believe we're 8-2 or 9-2.
Okay. And that's putting you in 4th place right now?
Yep. We have Paul VI is also 8-2 or 9-2, and then we have 2 teams that are 9-1 or 10-1.
Wow. I guess that is 4th place. Scott, how about that for a league? Scott, my special guest co-host, is from Boston, and he knows a little bit more about the East Coast competitiveness than I do. And how about that? They have 2 losses and they're 4th place in their league.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty tight conference.
Yeah, it is. So let's talk about your team this year, Coach. Now, you've said a couple of times it's a young team, and let's get into that. Like, do you have a set starting lineup, or does it fluctuate based on performance in games and practices?
Well, we started out. We have one of our seniors is a big kid named Brock Rubel. He's about 6'9", probably around 320 pounds. He's a lineman for football, and he's actually committed to go to Florida State next season to play football. He did not begin the season starting for us because he was not in shape yet coming off our football season. So we started a smaller lineup in the beginning of the season, but with him now in somewhat of basketball shape, he starts for us now, and it gives us a little bit more size. And he's a tough kid. He's like our toughest. He kind of gives us a little bit more confidence when he's on the floor. So he starts for us. And one other senior, Corey Henson, who's committed to go to Wagner next year on basketball scholarship. Those two guys start, and then again after that we get really young. So we start pretty much the same lineup now ever since Brock has gotten his legs under him. We've pretty much started the same five since he's been going.
Gotcha. So Brock is though primarily a football player, but he's gotten in shape and he's holding down the paint for you. And then you've got your second senior who's a stalwart, and then let's go to the three underclassmen. And who are they? Who are the primary starters there?
Okay, well, Joe Hampton is a sophomore. He's about 6'6", 6'7". He plays forward for us. He's arguably our best player. One of our leading scorers, one of our leading actually is our leading rebounder. He's a lefty. Plays around the rim, shoots it, puts it on the floor, does a little bit of everything. He's a big boy too, though, so he probably weighs somewhere in the 240 range.
Okay.
But he can play. Terrell Allen is our starting point guard. He's a junior. Grew up a DeMatha fan. His dad went to DeMatha, graduated from DeMatha, and played there. He's about 6'1", really heady point guard. Really has a high basketball IQ and runs our team for us. And then we start a freshman at one of the wing spots, and he's 6'5" and a half, named DJ Harvey. And he's just a phenomenal athlete. Has kind of grown into being a really, really good player for us so far this year, and we're very excited about how he's going to play for the rest of this season, but also very excited about his future with us because he's incredibly talented.
Okay, now, and who's the senior coach that signed with Wagner?
Corey Henson.
Corey Henson. Okay, so you've got some senior leadership there, especially from Corey at the guard spot, right? And and you've got Brock holding down the paint. It sounds like pretty well. Yep. Brock's got some help from Joseph Hampton.
Yep.
And it sounds like a very physical team. Are you guys physical?
Sometimes. We one of the things I do like about our team, but actually can be a problem sometimes, is we can play a lot of different styles. And, there are times where we need to be physical, and I don't think we are. But, sometimes the game is up and down, and we can do that very well. Sometimes they're the grinded-out half-court games, and, I think, we can do that well. There's times where we really need to, and we don't. And, again, I think that's just a sign of our youth. But we're getting better, and, again, we're looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, I imagine you are. It's going to be an exciting game. Have you played Westchester High School in the past, Coach?
Yeah, the last time we played them actually was the 2004-2005 season. It was my third season as the head coach, and we played them in Houston. And they actually began the season ranked number one. Coach's team, they had Amir Johnson back then. They had the kid that wound up going to UConn. I think his last name was Johnson. I'm not sure. But they started number one that year, and they beat us in the semifinals at a Christmas tournament in Houston by 7 or 8 points. So that's the last time we played them. So, again, for us, or at least for me, I'm looking forward to having another shot at them. Yeah,
I've seen Westchester play this year in person, and they're not the same powerhouse that probably most people nationally would think when they think of Westchester. They're a little more regular this year, but that said, they do play hard, and they've got a couple of Division I players on their team. and they've got, Coach Azam coaching, who does a great job. I mean, they're going to battle you, I'm sure, but I think that you may be flying home a happy man. We'll see.
You never know.
Yeah,
you never know. I mean, that's why. I think I've been coaching long enough to know that who cares what a record is, who cares what, who's playing well, who's not playing well. That's, you throw the ball up and anything can happen. And again, I don't want to harp on being a young team, but with a team as young as we are, we've learned to not take anything for granted. So, and again, as you said, as long as Coach Azam is on the sideline, you can't take anything for granted. So
I agree with that. And Coach Azam is a great coach, and he's an old friend, and I really respect him a lot. And you're a new friend, Coach Jones, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the DeMatha tradition now, and a little bit about some of the great players that you've had. If I said to you, now I'm going to go with this two ways. I want you, as a player, you played at DeMatha. You played for Coach Wooten. You graduated in 91. You were on some great teams. Tell me who the two best DeMatha players that you played with are.
Okay.
I'm going to make you pick two. I'm not going to let you pick five. You're going to the two best DeMatha players that you played with during your DeMatha career.
Well, I'll say it actually helps me out a little bit because, on reputation and what a lot of people would consider to be one of the best players to play at the school is a young man. I graduated in 91. Kenny Blakeney graduated in 1990. He went on to Duke and won 2 national championships at Duke during the early 90s with those teams. The fact that he was a high school All-American, went to Duke University, played for Coach K, won national championships. A lot of people would say he's one of the best players I've played with. So I would name him. But then I'll name someone who graduated in 1992. So he was a year behind me, Vaughn Jones, who went on to George Washington University. I felt as though was the best player to play with me while I was at DeMatha. He was our leading scorer from his sophomore year on. And it was just a tremendous, he knew how to play. He wasn't a great athlete, wasn't really strong, wasn't fast, didn't jump really high. But he scored when he got the ball. And, he had that uncanny ability to just put the ball in the hole. So they didn't make many as good as he is.
Wow. Nice. I like that. Now, if I fast forward it to you being the coach and coaching, I'm gonna pin you down, and I'm gonna be easier on you. I'm not gonna limit you to two, but I want you to give me your all-time as a coach, Coach Mike Jones's tenure. You don't get to go back prior to that. Your all-time starting five of your players, your all-time starting five.
No way. There's no way I could possibly do that. I've fortunately been able to coach some really, really good guys. Right now in college we have guys playing that start for Syracuse, start for Duke, start for Pittsburgh, start for Georgetown. Guys that, have played for us. So Victor Oladipo with the Orlando Magic played at DeMatha. And a lot of these guys all played on the same team. But we've also had, Austin Freeman, who was an All-American at Georgetown. Jerry Grant at Clemson. Mohamed Ediani played at Virginia. I mean, we've had a ton of guys. So.
And that's why it's such a good question, because you've had so many great players and so many great Division I players. But if we don't look at their Division I careers or pro careers and look at their DeMatha careers, okay?
Well, you have to say James Robinson, who's the starting point guard at Pitt, is arguably mean, you could say, at DeMatha, you're measured by championships. You're measured by wins. Like, your stats can be great, but if your team doesn't win the championship, it really doesn't matter. It almost looks like it doesn't count. And James Robinson graduated in 2012 as the winningest basketball player in our school's history. So he won 122 games in his 4 years and was a player. Like, he wasn't at the end of the bench his freshman year. I mean, he played every single game, started some games as a freshman. So a lot of people would consider him to be in the argument just because he won more games than everybody else, won 3 out of 4 championships, and, basically he missed a shot at the buzzer to win a 4th. And had he made that shot, he would have been the only player in DC basketball history to win 4 city titles and 4 Catholic League titles in his career. So a lot of people would say he's got to be up there.
Yeah,
Victor Oladipo didn't even start until he was a senior at DeMatha, so and he's the number 2 pick in the draft. So, I could go on. Jeremy Grant was at Notre Dame. Jeremy Grant's at Syracuse. Quinn Cook's at Duke. We've had some pretty good ones.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Now, the question I'd have for you then is, of all those guys, which guy, now this is an interesting question, practiced the hardest? I didn't say played the hardest, but like your Coach Jones would go to practice and you knew this guy was going to be the hardest working guy in practice every day. Who would that be?
Without a doubt, Victor Oladipo. Like, it's not even close. Still to this day, I don't know if he's capable of not playing hard. It's just the way he's built. So, and for someone who, a lot of people say is not as skilled as many others playing basketball, but his work ethic just makes up for, any differences in skill level. So that's an easy question. That's easy to answer.
Okay.
And had you asked any of those other guys that I mentioned, their answer would be the same.
Is that right? Well, that's a great answer, because that shows, I think, the players in your program, because you said he didn't even start till he was a senior, and he's the number 2 pick in the draft. I think that shows the value of hard work, doesn't it?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, he was an unknown short kid. When he got to DeMatha, he played on our freshman team as a freshman. Broke his foot somewhere in his freshman year. He was kind of a forgotten player going into his sophomore year, but he worked really hard to get healthy, and he wound up making varsity as a sophomore and came off the bench for us. And then as a junior, he may have been good enough to start, but we had some other pretty good guys as well. So he came off the bench as a junior, never complained, played as hard as he could when he got out there. And then as a senior, wound up being, first team All-Met, which is pretty prestigious in the D.C. area. And, obviously went on to Indiana University, and they did a wonderful job with him there. And, was one of the best players in college basketball last year.
Yeah, amazing player. He just had a great career, as you said. Coach Jones, we've got a caller who is calling in to ask a question. Caller, you're on the air.
Okay, yeah. Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Guys that I have, the Mathis head coach there.
This is this Coach Miller, and Coach Jones is on the air. He is live with us on the air. Do you have a question for Coach Jones?
Yes, my question is, what is the change in the game that you realize today?
What is the what in the game?
Since you first started coaching, what's the change? Like how has it changed? How did the game change?
Oh, the change. Well, with from back when I played, I mean, my staff and I have conversations about this all the time. I think one of the things that has changed is with the explosion of AAU basketball, which, I'm a very, very big supporter of that, because I do believe that it's something that gets exposure to some kids that never would get it. But the competitiveness in kids has definitely decreased. And sometimes in AAU you can play 2, 3, maybe even 4 games in a day. So losing isn't as hurtful as maybe it was when I came up. The question of, do you love winning more than you hate losing? And I can tell you right now, I hate losing more. Being at a place like DeMatha, you remember the losses more than you remember the wins. I just think the competitiveness in kids has definitely decreased, and it's definitely something that if it starts moving back in the other direction, I think the game of basketball becomes better.
Yeah, that's a great question and also a great answer. Thank you for calling in. If you have other questions and you want to call in, we have Coach Jones on the air for a few more minutes. Our phone number is 1-800-893-9562. That number again is 1-800-893-9562. We're also available on iTunes, and you can find us there. And we're excited to have Coach Jones with us. He's got a big game tomorrow. His DeMatha team has flown out here, and they are playing local LA Power Westchester High School at Mater Dei in the Nike Extravaganza, and that game is tomorrow evening. I believe at 6:30. Is that right, Coach Jones?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, we've got another call. Caller, you're on the air.
Coach Miller, how you doing, Coach Baskerville?
I am doing great. It is great to hear from you, Coach Baskerville. And, Coach, I understand you guys had a tough loss tonight to Bishop Amant. Is that correct?
Yeah, we took a loss by 3 the second quarter. Killed us. We got outscored 21-8. First half had 10 turnovers. We only had 2 in the second half. If we would have protected the ball a little better in the first half, we would have been fine.
Well, I'm sorry you had a tough loss tonight. We are lucky that we've got you on the air, and I've got Coach Jones here. Do you have a question for Coach Jones?
Coach Jones, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Hey, I saw you guys came out. Did you guys come out to the Palm Springs tournament this year?
You said in Palm Springs?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did not do that.
Okay. Are you guys looking to
considered doing it
next year?
We're actually going through the decision process now. We've actually been invited to play in the Iolani Classic in Hawaii, and we're trying to wait for our school calendar to come out to see if it'll conflict with our midterm exams. If not, we definitely will be going to Hawaii next year.
Yeah, well, you can't pass that up. But what I'll do is I'll reach out to you. I'll get your number, and I'll reach out to you if you decide not to go to Hawaii. I'd love to invite you out to our tournament after Christmas that we have. It's going to be nice.
Oh, awesome.
Coach Baskerville is the LaSalle High School coach, which is in Pasadena, and he is also the director of the John R. Wooden Award here in across the street from our studio. Coach Jones, he is
Skidrow adjacent.
He is right across the street. We could throw a tennis ball and hit the Los Angeles Downtown Athletic Club.
We share the same rats.
Yes, we do. And Coach Baskerville is a big-time guy, and he's a excellent person. And sounds like he's inviting you to his tournament. So is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay. Well, hey, that doesn't happen too many places, Scott. We get big-time high school coaches on the air, and other coaches call and invite them to play in tournaments.
It's actually funny that one time I actually saw Coach Wooten with Coach Wooden at the Boston Garden with Red Auerbach. So it kind of, the DeMatha John Wooden Award thing. They were at the McDonald's All-American game, and they honored Coach Wooten, Coach Wooden, and Coach Auerbach as the greatest high school coach, greatest college coach, greatest professional coach of all time. And they had them on stage together, or on center court together. It was actually really neat.
Yeah, one of the things I guess my prized possessions as a coach is, Coach Wooten obviously, was my mentor, and I worked under him for 4 seasons before, and then obviously played for him. But he got, as a Christmas gift for me, he got Coach Wooden to sign his book for me, and I hold that very dear, and obviously before his passing, and then also got Coach Auerbach to sign his book for me that he wrote with John Feinstein. So,
is that the Lunches with Red? Or
Yep, Tell Me a Story. Yep.
Love that book.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a great book. And so, Coach Baskerville, I appreciate you calling in our show tonight. And it sounds like you've invited Coach Jones and DeMatha High to come out to your after Christmas tournament, and I'm sure he'll consider that. I will
definitely. I'll tell you right now, we definitely will consider it. Like I said, as we get our school calendar together, we'll figure out what we're doing. But please feel free to share my number with him, and I look forward to hearing from you.
I will make that connection. Coach Baskerville, sorry for your tough loss tonight, and I appreciate you calling in. And sounds Coach Jones is going to consider your invitation, sounds like.
Sounds great. Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck to you the rest of the season. And thanks a lot, Coach Miller. Take care.
Thank you. Same to you.
All right.
If you have a question for Coach Jones, our phone number is 1-800-893-9562. That number again is 1-800-893-9562 if you have a question for Coach Jones of DeMatha High School. Coach Jones, you guys are in the midst of conference play, and as you indicated, it's probably one of the toughest, if not the toughest conference in the country. What made you want to come out here and just do this turnaround trip, get out here, play the next day, and go back in the middle of your conference season? What made you want to do that?
Well, I could give you the long answer. I'll try not to. There's probably three reasons. Number one, Coach McKnight, asked. And, he's one of the people I definitely respect in the game. And, we're all part of the Nike family. And, when he, approached me a couple years ago, it didn't work out. But we kind of had set this year as being the year that we would come out. So, we honored our commitment to do so. And, without him, we're not here. So that's number one. Number two, the exposure, being able to come on the West Coast, our kids being able to, do something. Tonight we had a reception with a gentleman that lives out here with his family, with a bunch of other DeMatha alumni that live in the area at his house in Newport Beach or something like that. But, it's a $30 million home, and, I know I've never been in a $30 million home before, and I'm assuming most of my players haven't, or any of my players haven't. So it was pretty nice, pretty cool to be able to do that, see a lot of full-time DeMatha people. But the exposure that they get to the colleges on the West Coast, being able to see them play, and, maybe some of the scouts and things like that out here, to be able to see them play that we wouldn't normally have the opportunity to do. And then, for us to just break up, our season. And like you said, we're in the midst of, tough conference race. We're, battling to see if we can get that number one seed going into the playoffs. And this was a pretty cool and, an enjoyable reprieve for us to be able to break up, our first half of the conference season and our second half, to be able to come out and, almost have a distraction, but a distraction that definitely has our full focus and attention, being such a good opponent. So.
Well, that's a great answer, and I really like the fact that you are honoring your commitment to Coach McKnight and helping him, bring a marquee name to his event that he runs there. It's a great event, and I think it's good. I think it's gutsy doing what you're doing because you're flying through time zones and you're getting out here and you're going to play and you're going to turn around and go back. Are you flying back tomorrow night after the game, or are you going back Sunday morning?
Yeah, we'll go back on Sunday, so we'll miss the Super Bowl, which, again, I don't know if we really planned that out that way, but that's kind of the way it goes. Now, to be honest with you, the way it worked out, we were not playing again until Friday the 7th. So this was really, the way it was planned out. It was a great trip because we could come out here, play, fly back on Sunday, and then we wouldn't play for 5 days. But because of 2 games are being rescheduled. So one of them is on Monday and then another is on Thursday. So, the genius that we thought we were, when we scheduled it in the first place, and we were going to have a break when we got back, well, that got screwed up by Mother Nature. So,
right.
We don't look as smart as we thought we were.
Well, you know what? And those are the cards you're dealt. And if you're going to be a champion, and I know that you're going to have to overcome adversity, and that's just going to be part of the journey. I think this year, you're going to have to do that, and if you're going to be a champion, your players will have to step up to that challenge. I know that you're going to lead them that direction, and ultimately they're going to have to perform. So,
and we're. I always joke, people say, oh, your guys going to be tired and, this, that, and the other. Well, they're 16 years old. I mean, they don't really have much else going on. So, if they're going to be tired, they're going to be tired. But, if you can't get up for games like this and you can't get up, for the packed games, league games we have back at home, then, maybe you shouldn't be playing.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Now, you get film ahead of time where you can actually see Westchester play. Are there any major fundamental differences in their style of play compared to the teams that you play in the East?
Well, we don't get film.
Oh, really?
Actually, we got fortunate enough that we did get, I guess, a quarter of one of their games. Somebody was kind enough to send to us, but that was a game that happened in the beginning of December, and they could be a totally different team now. And again, it was only pretty much a quarter. So we're kind of, I won't say we're going in blind because I've got people that I can talk to about that I have spoken to about them, but the first quarter tomorrow will be interesting because we'll be feeling each other out, I think.
Yeah, no question about that. And you know what? Film can be overrated because the bottom line is your players got to play defense. And, does it help to know so-and-so can shoot the ball? Sure. But you're going to find out if so-and-so can shoot the ball when you're playing them, aren't you, Coach?
Yep. And, as you're saying, I think one of the things that we've really tried to buy into this year is, it's great if we have knowledge of what the other team is going to do, but if we worry about what we do and, how hard we play and those things, I like our chances every time. If we start worrying too much about what the other team's going to do, we'll psych ourselves out. Again, that young team, they don't need all that stuff flying through their head. What our plays are, what our strategy is. Let's just go do that, and we'll adjust on the fly, but let's worry about what we have control over, and that's how hard we play and how focused we are.
Yeah, it's a great point. The bottom line is the opponent really isn't your opponent anyway. The opponent is yourself. It's playing up to your level of perfection and what you want your players to do. And so it can be really overrated to prepare too much for another team because you're taking away the focus from what you do well.
Absolutely correct, Coach Miller.
So I'm excited to see your game tomorrow. I think that, as I said, I'm going to go, Scott will tell you, I go on the air, I make bold predictions. When I predicted that, the Lakers were going to lose the center last year, and I predicted what team, Dwight Howard was going to sign with, and I nailed both of them right. I'm going to predict that DeMatha High School is going to come out victorious tomorrow. I think they're going to be ready to play, and I like Westchester. Don't get me wrong. I'm not rooting for DeMatha. I'm just being an objective observer, and I think DeMatha is going to be ready to play this game, and they're going to play really hard, and they're going to bring a little East Coast grit to the West Coast scenery. So
I hope you're right.
Well, I think I'm right, and let's obviously the game is played in the court, and we'll find out by about 8:00 tomorrow night if I'm right. But it sounds like it's been a great trip for you and your team so far. I know the game is the primary focus, and I know you're not going to let them forget that. I mean, they're here for business. They're here to play a game of basketball. These other things are nice, and they're part of it. But the number one thing is they're here for the business of playing that game, and I know you won't let them lose sight of that, even though they are a young team.
Yeah, no doubt that it's a business trip as we describe it, and the trip home is a whole lot more pleasant if we've played well, because I do believe if we play well, I like our chances. So
I agree. I think we have one more call, Coach, that we can take. Jeremy in the sound booth, do we have another call? We have another caller calling in. Let's put him on. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello, Coach Miller. This is our Drumright.
Hey, Mr. Drumright. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Real good, real good. I've got Coach Jones from DeMatha High School on the air with me, and he is a legendary coach who has done just some amazing things at one of the top high school programs in America. So I'm doing great.
I have a question for Coach Jones. Coach Jones, do you believe playing man defense better prepare your players for the next level?
I do. We have games where we wind up playing some zone, but we pretty much start every game playing man to man. And yes, I do believe playing man to man as your core defense is definitely the best way to prepare the guys for the next level. You sometimes get kids that you can tell they don't know how to play on ball defense. They're so used to just standing and covering an area on the floor, and it kind of puts them behind the eight ball because, if you don't go to Syracuse, where they pretty much play zone no matter what, you're going to be asked to guard somebody at some point in time, and if you've never really been through how to do that and been taught, this is what you do, this is what you can't do, and things like that, I do think it hurts a player's development, and you can still fight through that and do well, but I do think it kind of puts you behind a little bit.
Okay.
Well, another question? Go ahead.
No, that was it. Basically, I just wanted to, want his philosophy on zone versus man, as far as compare.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I think you gotta, every coach knows you gotta coach to your personnel, and if it gives your team the best chance to win, to play zone, then that's what you need to do. And I've done it myself, but I do believe I owe it to my players that throughout their time with us, we put an emphasis on playing man-to-man defense because, again, I might have I would equate it to having, a 6'4" kid who's really strong and maybe grew up being a power forward on all of his teams, but good and well when he gets to college, he's not going to be able to play power forward. So, yeah, playing power forward for my team may help us win a championship, but I owe it to him to work on his perimeter skills while he's with me, because he's going to have to do that at the next level. I think this is the same thing.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's it, Coach.
Thank you for the call, Mr. Drumright, and we appreciate you tuning in and taking the time to call, and please tune in again. Coach Jones, it's been great to have you as our special guest tonight. I'm excited to see you guys play tomorrow, and I will make sure that I pass your information off the air to Coach Baskerville, who called you on the air to invite you to a tournament. So I'm excited that maybe we can connect you guys together. That'll be kind of neat if that happens.
I appreciate it so much, and thanks for the opportunity to come on.
Oh, it's been my pleasure, and good luck tomorrow, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay, what we want to do, we don't have much time left, but Jeremy, we'll just take a short break, just run one commercial, and when we come back, we'll wrap up with a few more calls, and hopefully we'll get Trey Dickerson to call in. He's due to call in next, so let's go to break. Hey, it's Coach Miller. You're listening to my show, Time Out with Coach Miller. I want to talk to you today about my favorite car dealership located in beautiful Hollywood, California. It's called Gem Motors. Gem Motors is located at 5639 West Sunset Boulevard. If you want a high-end automobile that's at a great price, whether it's a BMW, a Mercedes, a Jaguar, or a Porsche, go to my friends at Gem Motors. They have a beautiful indoor dealership located at 5639 West Sunset Boulevard, right across from Home Depot. Go see my friends at Gem Motors. Tell them Coach Miller sent you and get a special discount. The phone number is area code 323-962-9696. 323-962-9696.
16 made a dream with this basketball. Coach Miller on the court and we going hard. Pass the rock to the paint. I give it my all or be like Chris Paul. Shoot the 3-point, y'all. Look, it's time out with Coach Miller. 14 straight conference championships. We winners. It don't stop from the bottom to the ceiling. Cause all I know is win and we winning. Full focus, we got a topic to discuss. High school, prep school, small colleges, yup. Another special guest today, listen up. It might get a little hectic from the stuff we discuss.
Okay, we're live. We're on the air, Scott. We're back. This is Time Out with Coach Miller. We are at Skidrow Studios, which is Skidrow adjacent.
Yep, and it feels like we're in the jungle. Equatorial Skidrow today in the studio.
That's right.
It's pretty hot in here.
It is pretty hot in here. It's always hot in the studio, Scott. But
yeah.
We've had a lot of guests in the studio tonight, so it makes it a little hotter than normal.
And the sweatshirt probably didn't help matters either.
No.
Like I'm making weight.
Yeah, there you go. And it's been a great show, an exciting show. Hey, we've got another caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, this is Trey Dickerson from Williston State College.
This is Trey Dickerson. I've been promising you all night to our listeners, Trey, and welcome to Time Out with Coach Miller.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so you're at Dickerson State College, and that is a junior college, correct?
Yes, sir.
Dickerson State College, and that is in North Dakota.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what I said. I didn't want to get it wrong. I didn't want to say South Dakota if it was North Dakota. And so
no.
I got it right. It was North Dakota, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell us about your season. I've already kind of told our listening audience that you're one of the top junior college point guards in the country, that you have been recruited by Cincinnati, Oklahoma State, Iowa, Nebraska, UNLV, a number of other schools. You're having a great season. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing this year with this team.
Really, we just been winning a lot of games right now. We 21-4. We just really trying to keep winning and get to the national tournament. And I just been playing solid this year, averaging 26-4. So I'm just trying to keep it up really and get ready for that next level.
So you're averaging 20 points and 6 assists, right?
Yeah, and 4 rebounds.
And 4 rebounds. Wow. That's a lot of rebounds, Scott, for a point guard.
Yeah, it is. That's good, though. I mean, point guards should be rebounding more anyhow.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I try to get it.
There's nothing worse than, players that shoot and then turn around, go right into the transition defense and just give up opportunities for second shots.
Okay.
Exactly.
Now, let me ask you this. Where is your school located?
My school is located in Williston, North Dakota.
In Williston, North Dakota. Okay. Is that a small town?
Yeah, it's like a real small town, but like all the fans and stuff come to every home game, so we have a big crowd and stuff, so it's real cool.
Okay. How big a crowd do you get, Trey?
It's almost like the left and right side be almost full, and the big games, like the whole gym be packed. So it's a real good crowd.
Nice. I was at Price High School Tuesday night watching your old team play, and I spoke to Coach Lynch after the game, and he told me that how proud he is of you and how well you're doing. you know. Go ahead.
Yeah, Coach Lynch and I, he been keeping up with my progress and stuff like that. Every time you see something positive, he just texts me and tells me he's proud of me and stuff like that.
That's right. And he is proud of you, and so am I. I saw you play at Price, and you've come a long way since then. And tell our listeners how you ended up at this small town junior college in North Dakota. You're a New York City kid. Are you from the Bronx? Where are you from in New York?
I'm from Queens in New York.
You're from Queens. Hey Scott, you remember we had a point guard from Queens a few years ago, Wesley Matthews.
Yeah. Wasn't he from like Westchester?
No, he was from Queens. He was claiming Queens anyway. You know Wesley Matthews?
I heard the name, but I don't really know him personally.
He's probably heard of the NBA Wes Matthews.
Right, I got you. So Trey, how did a Queens kid end up at a small junior college in North Dakota? Tell us how that happened.
Really, I just went to Murray State, and I just, when I was there, I just wanted to, basically always wanted to play on the highest level. Wanted to play against the best guys and stuff like that. And I know going junior college would be my only way of being able to get to that level. So I know a JUCO year will get me to the highest level and get to show that I can play on that level. So when I decided to leave Murray State in the summertime, Coach Peterson here at Williston State or whatever, he called me and told me to come here and, everything will work out and I'll get to pick from high majors and stuff like that, and I'll go there and play a big role, and I'll get my game better and everything, and I'll play a huge role at a high major. So that's why I came here, and everything's been paying off so far.
So how did, I'm sure you had other people call you and tell you the same thing. I'm sure you had a lot of junior colleges want you when you left Murray State. So why this one? That's my question.
I chose Williston State because, Coach Peterson, we was texting all day, all night and stuff. So I felt like he really wanted me. He really wanted to help me get to that next level where I wanted to go. And all these other junior colleges, we used to talk in the daytime, but then, nighttime and stuff like that, we didn't really talk. But Coach Peterson actually stayed on it. He stayed up till 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning talking to me, just trying to get me here. So I felt like I was really needed here instead of just wanted. I was needed here. So that's why I chose Williston State over Midland and Howard and all those other big prep schools.
How's the pizza in North Dakota?
You said how's the weather?
No, how's the pizza?
The pizza? The pizza it's decent. It's not like New York pizza, but it's decent.
Better than a 7-Eleven pizza? Or somewhere between 7-Eleven and Domino's?
Yeah. The Pizza Hut is good out here.
How's the music in North Dakota?
The music is different, but I'm getting used to it now.
Yep. Have you learned how to fix a pickup truck motor yet?
Nah, I actually watched it happen though, but I didn't get to learn myself yet.
Yep. Have you ridden a bull yet?
Nah, not yet. But I actually watched some people go hunting and stuff. It's real different.
Have you seen a buffalo?
Nah, I haven't seen a buffalo. Not yet.
Oh man, they should take you out to find a buffalo.
Not yet. But when he keeps saying not yet, Scott, that means it might happen soon.
Yeah, you'll never get to see a buffalo in New York.
Yeah, you won't see a buffalo in New York, Trey. That's not going to happen.
They got to take you out to show you some of those gazelles and stuff.
So I'm looking at your team here, and you guys are having a great season. What's your record again, Trey?
We're actually 21-4.
21-4. What a great season. We don't have a lot of time left. Tell us a little bit about your recruitment.
I'm on recruitment right now.
Say that again?
Like what you want me to name, the offers and stuff?
Well, tell us a little bit about your recruitment. What schools are recruiting you the hardest? What schools are showing you the most love?
The schools that show me the most love right now, Oklahoma State, Iowa, Nebraska, Rhode Island, UAB, Arizona State. They've shown me a lot of love, Coach Sendek and St. Mary's, Arkansas. So it's a lot of schools right now that's showing me a lot of love. I'm just probably narrowing it down within the next week or so.
Okay. Now, you just mentioned about 7 schools, Trey. Now, we don't have a lot of time left. My question is, do you have a top 3 or 4 right now? And are there any schools you didn't mention that I know when you and I have talked off the air, you also mentioned UNLV, Western Kentucky, and some other schools. Are they still in the mix, or are they off the board?
They're all actually still in the mix. I just, sometimes I just forget about the list, because it's like a lot of schools coming at me right now, so I just forget about some of them when I mention them.
Right. Now, tell us, we don't have much time, tell us your top 3 right now. If you had to make a top 3, doesn't mean these are going to be the 3 a week from now or a month from now. The top 3 right now.
Top 3 right now would be Arizona State, UNLV, and Nebraska.
Okay, those are a great 3. Here's what I want to do, Trey, if this is okay with you, because we're out of time. I want to bring you back next week and give you the feature spot Friday night as the first guest on the air. Would that be okay?
Yes, sir. Definitely cool with me.
Okay, great. I will hit you up, and we'll work that out. And one day I'd like to get you in studio here, too, as well, live. I think you'd like that.
Yes, sir. I definitely would.
Okay, Trey. Well, thanks for calling in, and we're going to get you on the air next week because we didn't get to spend enough time with you this week. I want to talk about your recruitment. I think that'll be a great topic for our listeners. So, Scott, we've enjoyed having these great guests tonight.
Yep,
and
packed show.
And Trey, we'll have you on next week on Friday, okay?
All right. Thanks for having me.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay,
thank you.
Jeremy, thank you for doing such a great job in the sound booth, and let's shut it down for the night.
16 made a dream with this basketball. Coach Miller on the court, and we going hard. Pass the rock to the paint. I give it my all, or be like Chris Paul, shoot the 3-point, y'all. Look, it's time out with Coach Miller. 14 straight conference championships, we winners. It don't stop from the bottom to the ceiling, cause all I know is win, and we winning. Full focus, we got a topic to discuss. High school, prep school, small colleges, yup. Another special guest today, listen up. It might get a little hectic from the stuff we discuss. Welcome to the 500 Club. We the best, my whole team tough. Close to 100 Division 1s I built up. Dedication and hard work. Step up to the court, I'm like, who ready to lose first? 14 times champs every year earned. Feet to the court, let me get in my zone. Hands grip to the ball, let me get in control. Non-stop, can't quit, that's a winner's quote. I'ma just keep doing me, hear the crowd as they cheer. 18 out of 19, coach of the year. Time out with Coach Miller, listen clear. 2 times a week, listen to me on the ear. Over 30 wins, it was for 4 straight years. First to win state my high school and college career. Over 30 wins, it was for 4 straight years. First to win state my high school and college career. It's time out with Coach Miller. 14 straight conference championships, we winners. It don't stop from the bottom to the ceiling, cause all I know is win, and we winning. Full focus, we got a topic to discuss. High school, prep school, small colleges, yup. Another special guest today, listen up. It might get a little hectic from the stuff we discuss. State champs, high school and JC. He was the first coach to do it in California history. Coach Miller, he can beat any team. Got shooters on the court and dunkers dunk everything. He got to win, so the plan is defeat. Been coaching on the court before he turned 18. from 08, going down to 93. He was the conference champs, home of the LACC. Youngest coach to beat 500 teams, 43. Everybody can't do it like he. A coach is something he was destined to be. Now we got a radio show to discuss some things, talking informative conversations. Listen to the real. Tuesday and Friday at night from 10 to 12. A live show, tune in and listen well. Special guests and take audience calls as well.